Donald Trump is working very hard to crash the economy. And when they crash the economy, when he crashed the economy, it will bring forth a crisis, and then they will call for the national Sunday law, the one day of worship. But the Bible makes it very clear in the book of John 14:29, as Jesus speaks, he said, "And now I have told you before it came to pass, that when it is come to pass, he might believe." So we tell you that the national Sunday law is coming, and when it come to pass, you might believe. In the book of Matthew 24, verse 3 and 4, where we know Matthew was one of the book that Jesus instruct all things concerning his coming and the nearness of his coming. Matthew 24 and verse 3 and verse 4 said, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciple came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the signs of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you." One of the major things Jesus very pointed out clearly said, "Take heed that no man deceive you." In verse 7 it said, "For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquake in diverse places." In the book of Revelation chapter 13 and verse 17 it said, "And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." Do you believe that the time is coming when you will not be able to buy or sell? All right. You will see it very clearly. Listen what the book of Ezekiel said. In chapter 7 and verse 12, it said, "The time come, the time is come, the day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is upon all the multitude thereof." Multitude means people in Bible prophecy. And why the Bible tells very clearly in the book of Ezekiel chapter 12 said, "Let not the buyer rejoice," because it will only be those who well rich will have access to buy. In fact, the world is going into a cashless society. So what will happen to the poor or the middle class? They will have no access to buy. And White said again, "Let not the seller mourn, because only little bit of people will be able to buy, those who wealthy." So the reality is that Jesus instructs us how we are supposed to conduct in the last days. He said, "Leave the city and go to the mountain so that we can plant." In the book of Genesis, chapter 47, verse 15, 16, it states very clearly, what occurred already will occur again. It states, "And when money failed in the land of Egypt," so money did fail one time already, "and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, Give us bread, for why should we die in the presence? For the money fail." And Joseph said, "Give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail." Notice very carefully, it happened years ago before, but listen what the Bible said in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 11. It said, "Now all these things happen unto them for example, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world is come." So Corinthians, Paul make it very clear by saying all those things that happened before, it happened for our example, that it was written for us so that we could read and that we could understand what is about to occur. Notice what he said, "Now all these things happen unto them for example, and it was written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world is come." Beloved, if there was a time that is more long spent and we're waiting for Christ and the coming, we believe strongly that the coming is very near now. Listen what he goes on to say. But Jesus, look, this a preview. But Jesus give what to do for this time. Matthew 24, 15 and 16 said, "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them be in Judea flee into the mountain. Why? Mountain? To plant food. So notice what Jesus said. When you see the abomination of desolation, we see that, beloved. Church and state joining together. The papacy, the Pope, and the Protestant, and the state is world leader. But we see Donald Trump promised to give the church more power. Beloved, if there's never a time, we need Jesus.